with Commander Shinakuma. So, firstly, apologies there was no weekly giveaway last week. I was away in London Film and Comic Con, and then I was busy for the rest of the weekend with personal stuff, so I wasn't able to get online and do a giveaway. But the giveaways will be back soon. Today, I'm back with some good news and some medium news, no bad news. So, you may remember about 4 weeks ago, I published a method whereby you can make a lot of money in the Maya system, specifically Darnell's Progress, stacking up the missions of meta alloys. About a week after I published that method, they completely disappeared, and it would appear that FDev have nerfed them. I even said that they were nerfed. The video title said they were nerfed, but truth be told, it must have been to do with system state, because as you can see on my screen right in front of me, I'm back at Darnell's Progress. You can see the date, 31st of July, and what have I got in front of me? 3 lots of meta alloy missions, all one jump, all nice and close, all easy to deliver. So I came down in my Python because, I'll be honest, I couldn't be bothered to fly my cutter down. It would have taken quite a while. But I believe that I've won 84 units for 15 million. 72 units for 16. And something else to look at. I did see on the internet that these missions would only spawn if your trade rank was elite. So I'm just going to dispel that now. So you do need to be allied status with the local factions, but as you can see here looking at the screen, the recommended trade rank for this particular mission is merchant and not trade elite, as many people keep saying. As you can see, they're willing to pay me 15 million on this particular one to ferry these meta alloys one jump away. So you do not necessarily have to be elite status. So there you go. I've just hoovered up about 50 million worth of missions. Because I'm in my Python, I'm out of space, so I can't really take anything else. I may actually request my cutter to one of the stations in the local area, just in case I can pick up other missions, but for now I am going to crack on and deliver these and see if that was a one-off fluke, or whether or not, as I have seen in and about the Elite Dangerous universe, that these missions are back for now. So let's go. What am I doing? Come on, wake up. So, first destination is Atlas. Yes, so they're back. Kind of. No, honestly, I genuinely don't think this will be patched. It wasn't patched to start with. It was just, well, it might have been. The reason why we were getting the missions before is with because of the station in that had been UA bombed close by. That was the game's way of trying to correct that. Now I think that FDev may have intervened in the code in the background. One of those ones where the fixes fell under other fixes in the patch notes. But even before that method was a thing, Down to Earth Astronomy published a method several months prior where we're doing exactly what we're doing now. So I don't think we're going to be in a situation where you can stack 50 million after 50 million. So I don't think this is going to be a 350 million an hour method. So I'll probably put a stop to that right now. But, you know, I've just picked up nearly 50 million in meta alloys. It's going to take me probably 10 minutes jumping between these stations. Or it was, until I saw that one was 12,000 light years away. 12,000 light seconds away, should I say. But still, there are there's nothing in the game at the moment, absolutely nothing, that compares to the payouts on these missions. I mean, yeah, sure, source and return, but you're having to buy the goods. This is, you know, this is 15 million for a one jump thing, 16 million for a one jump, and 15. So, am I burning? Am I on fire? Pop out a heatsink. You know, there's nothing comparable in the game. I think if you want to use this method to start raking in the cash, you're going to have a bit more patience than before. I don't think it's going to be as simple as rock up in a big ship, stack half a dozen 50 millioners and go on. But on the flip side, it's easy money. Let's have a read of the comments. How much per hour? Honestly, I don't know. I flew my cutter. I flew my Python down to Maya just to see, because someone had mentioned to me that the missions were back, and this stream's been going for about 10 minutes now. So let's find out how much can you make in an hour. Currently doing Robigo runs. Can be a bit dull, but 4 trips making about 75 million an hour. Not bad. Yeah, that might be a better way of doing it. We will find out. And to be fair, when they were going to, I forget the name of the station, that station was 500 light seconds from the main star, so of course journey time was less than 60 seconds in many instances. As you can see here, this pain in the ass thing is 12,000 light seconds, so it's gobbling up the time. Don't know. If you're just joining us, once again, apologies there was no giveaway this weekend. I was away at London Film and Comic Con, being a huge happy nerd down there. It was a good laugh. It's reasonably annoying. That pretty much all of the Battlestar Galactica cast cancelled last minute, so that was a bit of a bummer, but nonetheless it was good fun. So everyone get dressed up. My pleasure. Like I say, I've got enough money now. Don't really need any more. I'm only doing this as a quick demo to prove what can be done. Yeah. Yeah, it's frustrating when something good pops up, but the good news is these missions aren't as prolific as my first round of videos. At least I don't think they are. Maybe they are. But the good news is that they've not been nerfed. No, I think he's on holiday in Portugal. That's what he's trying to say. To be fair, it was probably hotter in Devon than it was in Portugal, but I guess the heat is not the only reason you go on holiday. To be fair, 99% of the time in Britain that is true. We do go on holiday for some sunshine. We certainly don't get to see any, but I think our little sunny spell has come and gone for the next decade. Right. So finally rolling up on this bloody terminal. I mean, to be fair, even at 12,000 light seconds, I'm making 16 million from it. It's not the worst problem to have. Wow. 39. Alex, honestly, I don't know how much. This is exactly what this live stream is testing. So the missions are back. They are now spawning again. So we'll see where I'm at after an hour's worth of gameplay. It's quite amusing. Speaking of docking computers, as you can see on the screen now, I actually raised a bug that the docking computer was forcing my cutter to crash land and take hull damage with the auto dock. And in that thread, one of my subscribers had used my own video as an example to back up my argument without knowing that it was my video. I was the same person, because I've got half a dozen different names across various platforms, so it wasn't clear it was me. It was just funny seeing my own video being used to back up my argument from somebody else.
Ship is on the ground. Commence power down. Station services are at your disposal.
Right. Money, please. Right, let's hope these next two stations are... let's have a look. So... oh shit, no, not abandoned, not abandoned, not abandoned. Oh, that was close. And that was a near heart attack. That's what happens when you try and read the chat and play at the same time. Where's the station in this one? That'll do. 42 light seconds from the main star. That's no. So meta alloy missions will only ever be available from Darnell's Progress in the Maya system, unless FDev makes some significant changes to the way that these particular commodities spawn. It will be the only place you will ever find them. It's an interesting looking planet. That's different. Rings around a Mordor world. Odd. Look at the gravity pulling me back. Is this a station actually in the rings? Yeah, look at that. A station actually in the asteroid ring. That's very interesting. I've never seen that before. It would be epic if this station offered a lot of mining missions and the minerals that they wanted came from that ring. You could perhaps clean up there if mining was your thing. And it's got a pretty interior, trees and flowers and the like. Do you know what I've never seen in Elite? Oh, we fly into all these stations with these habitats and stuff everywhere. I've never seen an actual person. Like on that walkway there. It'd be nice just to see a person wandering across. In the Milky Way full of people, there are no people. Apart from the weird things on the mission board. I don't think they classify as people. Right, let's just sort that out. Give me the money. Hydrogen peroxides, that's a shit lot of it, mind, to be fair. Industry needs a lot of nerve agents. They're not easy to come by. I think the most I've ever seen a station carry in one go was 400, so that might seem like an attractive prospect, but the reality is you'll spend 2-3 hours trying to collect all of that. However, silver you can buy anywhere. That's not actually that bad a prospect. So if you got allied here, these source and return missions could net you quite a lot of money. Interesting to know. I might return to that one soon. But for now, let's carry on with our delivery missions.
Landing restraints lifted. You are go for departure.
Come on, engage before I get too close to these rocks.
Clear station perimeter. This is traffic operations. Signing off.
Ah, you mother... Yeah, no, absolutely. Nerve agents can be found. They're not difficult to find. What they are difficult to find is in a quantity bigger than 200-300. So you can easily pick them up. You've just got to be prepared to visit numerous stations. I'd love to find a station that had like a 10,000 supply where you could just go stack up, 790 odd on your cutter and get back. That would make it simple. Yes. Darnell's progress in the Maya system is the source of these meta-alloy missions. So we will we'll drop this last one off. We will be just shy of 50 million richer. Let's see. Stream has now been running for just shy of 20 minutes, so we're on 50 million for 20 minutes gameplay. You can of course measure that against your various different passenger missions at the moment, source and return. Just a different way of making money. I wouldn't recommend doing these exclusively. It's not always about just making money. Thanks, Cheeky J. Have a good... and thankfully, these missions should be available when you get back, when the system state is correct. Using a Python... No, I'm using a Python because the last ship I was using for some different research was a Python, and I couldn't be bothered to go and get my cutter. If I did, as well as these meta-alloy missions, there were numerous other delivery missions, not nearly as profitable, but going to the same stations, so I could have picked up a host of 7, 8, 9 million missions too, increasing the profitability of these runs, but as it is, I just wanted to see if meta-alloys were back. So it was kind of like a spur-of-the-moment decision to do a live stream at all, but they were there, I was here, so I did. So I have been out of the loop for about a week. It was, as well as going to London Comic Con, it was Mrs. Shinakuma's birthday, so we were out doing birthday things. Since I've been away, I don't think anything significant's happened. FDev have accidentally let slip that in the future there is going to be some paid content in the near future. Anyone's guess what that might be. I personally think it's going to be Guardians content. There'll be some type of portal to the Guardians part of the Milky Way, or maybe even an entirely different galaxy. That's what I think it'll be. That's based on no information and only guesswork. Something about player manufactions. I don't care. I've never wanted one, so it's kind of irrelevant to me. But it's nice to see that FDev have sorted their act out in getting those who do care about them sorted. And we still have no idea what's coming in the Q3 update. So of course Q1 huge update, Q2 and 3 small preparation updates, and of course Q4 being the big one. Right, let's have a quick look, see what this type of station is, because I'll be honest, I've not really visited this one in the past. There's nothing particularly special here. Now you can shove all that up your backside. Personal weapons, that's actually not bad. It's like 20 million profit in that, but again we're down in the Pleiades sector, so that's not bad at all. Industry needs, that's 2 trips in a cutter. Your slaves will cost you about 8 million, so there's 30 million profit in that. If I weren't doing these meta-alloy missions at the moment, I'd be tempted to check that out for a future video. I'm just going to write that down. So that's, I can't tell. How do you say that word? Iaizu doc? That might feature soon. No, there's nothing to suggest that any stations have been UA bombed in this particular video. This is purely the missions are back, spawning as they should do and not being influenced by a UA bomb.
Detachment confirmed. Depart safely from the station.
Yes, last time it was, this time it's like I say, it's a good news, bad news scenario. Good news is that these missions do still spawn, so there's still quite a lot of money to be made for doing not that much in a ship that's very affordable. The bad news is you can't stack up, you know, 300-400 million per hour as you could before. Those days have come and those days have gone. So there's no suggestion that 300 million an hour is back.
You are now clear of station perimeter. Have a good fight, Commander.
So 26-minute mark on the stream now. Delivered our first 50 million. Let's get back to Darnell's progress and see what's what. How much per hour? I don't know. We are 30 minutes in. Well, I'm currently in my Python, which is similar to a crate in many respects. I'm not in my cutter as I was in the last video, quite frankly, because I couldn't be bothered to go and get it. To be fair, the only time I struggle with a ship build is when I'm messing about testing out different PvP ship builds. For PvE, multi-cannons and pulse lasers are quite simply the best combination you'll ever have. You don't need anything more. I know everyone likes to do different things to suit their own personal playstyle, but from a pure efficiency point of view, pulse lasers and multi-cannons are the best PvE weapons in the whole game. Cargo, it's biggest jump range, biggest cargo. Passenger, same but with passenger, because again, you're not really fighting anyone in those. So it's only really PvE where prattling around with an infinite amount of ship builds to find out which suits you is there. I've currently got a crate being engineered. Put in 3 rapid fire advanced plasma accelerators on that, supported by 2 gimbaled beam lasers with thermal vent to get rid of the heat. I've got the Sulaco, 2 huge multi-cannons, and the rest rapid fire pulse lasers that will chew through anything in the game in a matter of moments, at least from a PvE point of view, and it also holds true in PvP. I've never been destroyed 1 versus 1 in that ship. Killed plenty when I've been ganked by kill on sight, but never 1-on-1. Yeah, but that's again, if you're fighting Thargoid interceptors, you're probably going looking for Thargoid interceptors, so you should be equipped accordingly. I have never encountered a Thargoid in this game that I didn't mean to find. I've never been jumped, hyperdicted, ganked, dropped into the wrong USS. So yeah, absolutely. If you're going Thargoid hunting, make sure you're equipped. Thank you. Yeah, the engineering videos are actually really good. I mean, they've got 12,000 views, and the other one's got about 10,000. The general principle holds the same for virtually all material gathering. It's a combination of knowing where to look and getting lucky with the RNG. Of course, Down to Earth Astronomy did publish a really good, useful video on how to gather grade 5 material datas from the crashed Cobra Mark III of Commander Jameson. Now, the actual the data that you gather is actually useless, not used in any type of engineering, but you can trade it for the good stuff. So you can go and easily collect 100 of whatever it is, something encryption captures. Again, you don't use that for engineering, but then easily swap them for data mined wake exceptions. So that is a great video, and if you are looking for grade 5 data, I highly recommend checking out his site. Right, mission board. Let's see. So all but 2 of the factions are currently in boom status. So we may or may not find any more. So no. Nope. If you wanted to rank up, now is the time. No. And of course these guys are in civil war. Now they do sometimes offer delivery missions. Just because they're in civil war doesn't mean you shouldn't check. But on this particular board the answer is no. Let's board hop and see what we can find. So I was in solo, so now I'm going to open. There we go. So, boom time delivery of 120 meta alloys. Going to pay me 39 million credits. So, are we going to accept that? Damn right we are. And where are we going with that one? I forgot. Because have I got any more? I've got anything else going there. So that's going to Argol's Ascent. Anything else going there? Well, we'll pick that up because we're unlikely to get any more missions. Oh. No, I'm pretty much maxed out on cargo space. So, right, let's go. Right, so I'm currently in open, so I'm going to be a big boy and try and make it there in open. Let's see how many people are waiting to shoot me down.
Ship restraints disengaged. You are clear for disembarkation.
My destination is not exactly a secret.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1.
So stream time is currently 35 minutes. We've made 150 million run. We've got 3.5 there plus 39 there, so that takes us up to 95 million. No, 92 million in 40 minutes beat time we get there. Not bad. Not bad at all. Because if you're watching now and you're enjoying what you're seeing on screen, I would appreciate if you'd press that like button, only because it helps the YouTube promote this video to any commanders who might not otherwise know about this method. No, I didn't find a 50 million. Yeah, you're right. It may well be quicker to jump to a different system rather than super cruise up to proper altitude. It's a good thought. Again, thank you very much if you press that like button. My videos are not monetized, so I am not looking for the money. This is purely because the way YouTube's background mechanics work is the more likes on a video, the higher it will promote it, the more people will get to know about it. I know some people don't like that. They think if more people are doing it, the better chance it has of getting nerfed. But this particular method, now it's working properly, has been around for getting on 3 months now. So it's unlikely to be nerfed. It looks like this mechanic is working the way it's supposed to. Okay, so if you're having trouble getting abnormal compact emissions data, if Isanor has been a bust, go to Down to Earth Astronomy and look up his current video on finding Commander Jameson's crashed Cobra. Once you find that, you will be able to easily get lots and lots of something encryption data. You can easily get 100 of those in 10-15 minutes. Now those particular ones are absolutely useless to you, but what you can do is you can go and trade them for abnormal compact emissions data. 100 of the encryptions get you 16 abnormal compact emissions. So that would be more than enough to upgrade any one item to grade 5. And it's guaranteed as well. You can't fail. It's not possible. So even data mined wake exception, I'm really good at it. I've got good methods. I know what. I've got good equipment, so I can scan stuff, but I'm never guaranteed to get more than 16 an hour. For me, 12 an hour is a good result. With the method that Down to Earth Astronomy has published, you're guaranteed to get at least 16 for half an hour's work. So watch that video. It's a really good source of information. I haven't been to Isanor since I featured it in my first data video. I might have to go and have a look and see how it's changed, because I'd be disappointed if that little pirate battle has ceased, because virtually all of those ships were elite and they were all relatively easy to kill, so you could blast your combat rank really high that way. Right, can you already estimate how many millions per hour? Well, we've currently taken 50 million. The stream is currently on 39 minutes, and I'm about to deliver another 42 million's worth of 42 million worth of missions. So it puts us on 92 million for 40 minutes work. So I might be able to breach 100 million an hour, depending on how this last run goes.
Landing successful. Clear to disembark. Report to
actually 30. I'm going to take these 36 million and then bioconductors because they come in handy. I'm just going to have all the money on that one. Why isn't Maya in that list? Oh, there it is, right in front of my face.
Frameshift drive charging.
All clear. Until next time, Commander.
Hello, Commander. Warsmith Huggy. How are you this evening? Glad you could join us. So we are just retesting the return of Meta Alloy missions. So far the news is good. It's not quite on par of what it was 4 weeks ago, but we look set to breach the 100 million per hour mark shortly, but only time will answer that question. So something that might be coming up at the end of August, and I say might because I haven't quite decided yet. I bought a HOTAS 4 for my PlayStation, and I've tried and tried and tried, and I cannot to love it. I know some people swear by them. I know that there are many reasons why they're awesome, but just can't get on with it. I'm going to carry on for another few weeks to see if I can't force myself to like it, but if I can't, I might do it as a giveaway on a stream. Of course, shipping, I'm not going to ship it anywhere ridiculous. Probably going to limit it to UK and Europe, but I might, and I say might, be giving away a PlayStation 4 HOTAS, which is also compatible with PC. No, yeah, North Korea, of course I'm going to send it there. I don't know, my hands seem to be permanently attached to a control pad. I can't give it up. Again, I can't quite stress this enough. This is only a might if I can't make myself like it.
Orbital flight engaged.
Yeah, but then you're right. I say that the winner pays shipping if you're outside the UK, but then I need to start sending payment details, and we'll see. If it happens, I'll work out the finite details at the time. But at the moment, it's just it's taking up space in my little in my man cave games room, and it's not really getting used. And I know some people might want it. We'll see.
Delayed. Sierra, Hotel, India. This port is under independent control. Submit a request before docking. Permission granted. Land on designated pad number 10. You're approved for automated.
Should have had a look who's about. So we've got definitely got one commander at Darnell's at the moment. I can see them there. I wonder who they are. Right, but for right now, we're trying to break that magic 100 million per hour mark, so this is it. No, it sounded pretty normal to me. There you go, another 39 million of meta alloys, so we have now broken the 100 million per hour mark. So I can officially say that this method is worth doing. Let's see if there's anything else. Go into that Agol's Ascent. There you go. Realistically speaking, I'm not. Let's just check for more meta alloys first, because that is 120 units. And I'd rather fill up on 120 of something better, if I'm honest. Because that was only 3 million. I'm going to do a board swap. Well, 48 minutes in. Well, to be fair, the operator at Darnell's Progress, of course, the actor had a Yorkshire accent. I'm from Yorkshire, specifically the city of York, which is awesome. So yeah, the accent is very familiar to me. I live in York. Well, hello fellow York commander. Next thing you're telling me you work for Nestle. Right, so I turned down. Dear me. Small world, eh? Small world. Right. So I turned down that 3 million one going to Agol's Ascent on the hope of picking up another meta alloy mission, because it was 120 units and I prefer to bag another 39 million. But it looks like that gamble might not pay off. Polymers, not doing supply. Right, well, I think that's quite enough about my private life for now. So I'm hoping this private board might yield something new, because I haven't hit up the private board section of their servers yet. So let's see what it offers me. Yes, PlayStation 4 at the moment, but the background simulation for all of them should be approximately the same. So if it's working on PS4, should be working on all other consoles. Of course, biggest caveat in that is should. So I can take these superconductors if there aren't any meta alloys on this particular board. No, there's not. So I'm going to take this 4 million lot.
Landing gear retracted.
Ship restraints disengaged. You are clear for disembarkation.
Right, so last time I went to Argol's Ascent, I had to ascend in Super Cruise because the destination was obscured. So is there anything I can jump to immediately and then jump again? Would that be faster? Let's find out.
Charging.
You're clear of the port. Take care, Commander.
Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive.
Yes, typical Yorkshire accent on the flight controller. We've just been talking about that. I'm from York myself, so it's an exaggerated version of what we actually talk like. You've heard me gibbering on for the last hour. This is what people from York actually sound like.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Despite the fact it makes no difference at all, I am determined to beat 100 million in an hour, and I've got 55 minutes on the stream at the moment. We've currently delivered 92 millions worth of goods, specifically meta alloys. With this particular round, we will have 4 million. Let's do it easy. So another 44, so that'll be 120 odd million in an hour. So if you are considering flying, buying, transporting, shipping a big ship down to the Maya system, I can offer my assurances based on what you've seen in the last hour that it will be worth your while, assuming of course you don't have a different way to make money that you're already doing. But again, you've seen it's doable in a Python. You can pick a Python up for 60 million. It doesn't need anything flash on it. You don't need any seals, weapons, stock Python with a decent frameshift drive and lots of cargo. And you can also make this much money. Don't forget, if you haven't ever been to Darnell's Progress before, you will need to run the boom data delivery boom delivery missions until at least you get to friendly status. You can't rock up cold, having never been there before, and rake in 100 million an hour. So please do not think that you can. You have to get to at least friendly status before those missions start spawning on a regular basis. So bear that in mind if you're considering coming down to Darnell's Progress to make money. Yeah, absolutely. You can rank up with the factions by delivering bounty vouchers. You could deliver scan data, but that will only work on the controlling faction of the station. You will need to rank up with the other factions, the only exception being the Anthill Mob. I have never, in all the time I've been playing, seen that particular faction offer meta alloy or any type of delivery missions, so don't waste your time ranking up with the Anthill Mob. It's simply not worth it.
Access granted. Cleared for landing on docking bay 1-5.
If you don't like board hopping, Robigo VIP missions might be more convenient. You're absolutely right. Currently, Robigo is offering relatively easy money for taking passengers on a 1 or 2 trip, depending on the size of your frameshift drive, to Sirius Atmospheric Tourist Beacon. The missions are regular, and they increase your Explorer rank. So if you're not currently elite, that's a fantastic way of increasing that particular rank. Of course, once you get elite, you get access to Jameson Memorial, where you can buy all the ships and all of the modules in one place, often at a 10% discount. So that's a fantastic way of doing things as well.
Docking restraints engaged. Enjoy your visit, Commander.
Where's that other But that doesn't make any sense. Why can't I cash in that mission? That's weird. So this mission is to Aricola's Ascent, which is where I am, but for reasons that are clear to absolutely nobody, I cannot cash it in. Very strange. Very strange indeed. I'm gonna try a board swap, see if it brings it up. No, the FDev of course can tweak background tools. They can add and remove various bits and bobs, but they couldn't remove these missions in flight. That would take a an update to make that happen. Oh, there you go. It's there to complete now. Get in. So that's thereabouts 125 million in 1 hour's worth of gameplay. Mission time is 1 hour and 3 minutes. So there you have it. It's a fantastic way to make money. And I highly recommend it. I'm just going to go back to out of sheer curiosity. I'm going to fly back to Darnell's Progress one last time. did this last time, didn't it? It's right at the top of the bloody list.
Landing couple disengaged. Restrict speed until clear of the station.
Okay, so I'll explain it again. So last time it wasn't bugged so much in that lots more missions than would normally spawn were spawning because one of these stations was or had been UA bombed. Now I do think that Frontier Developments deliberately removed that game mechanic, so that won't happen again, but the missions that spawn just normally are in fact back. As you can see, I've made 125 million in 1 hour without spending any credits like the source and returns, doing one hop jumps, so definitely worth doing. If it's not spawning on your particular platform, I'm not sure what to say. Typically speaking, PC has the mechanics behind the PC board swapping seem to be more favourable than consoles. It's typically speaking PlayStation and Xbox. Of course, the game that we play is the same. The graphics are the same, the models are the same, but the background programming has to be different. They're built on different platforms. There's no option for it but to be different. And I think the background code is a bit different, but do allow missions. What system should I go to do these played? So we are currently in Maya, the same place you will find Professor Palin if you have had him appear as an engineer. And this particular one on screen right now, you can see Darnell's Progress. This is the only place that offers these missions. There is nowhere else in the galaxy that you will find them. It's this station or nothing. See, I'm going back to Darnell's Progress to see if anything new popped up. I'm not sure I would be able to resist if another 39 million popped up. We'll see how good my willpower is once I get back there. Yeah, sure. Of course, the Creators Roundtable, I watch those myself. I like to keep apprised, and all of the creators from the Creators Roundtable all play on PC. Not one single one of them plays on either Xbox or PlayStation 4. And it would be there. It would be nice to have a voice for the console players on it, because sometimes a lot of the things they talk about is exclusive to PC players. Again, my channel's growing slowly. I think I've got about 1,300 subscribers, give or take. And people seem to like the nonsense I talk, so I will see if I can get in on those and add a different point of view.
Orbital flight engaged.
I'm not sure there's anything you can do. You could maybe suggest it on one of the streams in the comments, but to be fair, the onus lies with me to get myself in there. But thank you for the kind offer. I'll speak to Down to Earth Astronomy. I know that he has got a good rapport with Yamix, who runs them, so we'll see what he says. When it says route plotting failed, that means that there's some part of your ship that cannot make that particular journey. So perhaps if you, say for example, had a ship with a maximum 15 light year jump range, but one of the jumps between the systems was 16 light years, then the route plotting would fail because your ships cannot make one of the jumps within the plotted route.
Delacy, Sierra, Hotel, India. This port is under independent control. Submit a request before docking. Approval granted. Plot route for approach to landing pad 0.
The only other thing that would cause route plotting to fail is if you were trying to plot a route greater than 20,000 light years. Now I find that to be unlikely. It's unlikely that you're trying to plot your way to the other side of the Milky Way in one go, but that would cause it to happen. The likelihood is that there's one of the stars is too far away for your the gap between is too big for your ship. Now what you can do if that's the case is I'll show you on here in just a moment.
Contact confirmed.
There is a way around that, but I am just going to check for these meta-alloy missions first, and I'll swing back to that in just a second to show you how to potentially get around that. Probably the only person that's ever looked at these mission boards and hoped that a meta-alloy mission did not pop up, because I don't have the willpower not to take it. Get in, there's no meta-alloy missions on this particular board. Yes, there's a very specific reason why I'm using my Python this evening, and that is I was close to the Maya system when I heard that meta-alloys were back, and I couldn't be bothered to fly and get my cutter to fly all the way back to Maya. So I'm in my Python because I can't be asked to go and get my cutter. Right, so back to Matt Vale, apologies. Can't see the name too clear on the screen. So if you wanted to plot a route, of course you would come here. Let's say I wanted to go home, plot a route, and of course that plots a route. But if you can't, if it says route plotting failed, you could always come to which one is it? Route plotting. I haven't had to do this in such a long time. I'm looking for, and someone can shout at me if I'm wrong, economical or quickest routes. Okay, here you go. So right here. So in the second one along on route plotting, I have it here set to the fastest route. So this will plot a route using the fastest distance between the stars, making the biggest jump it can. If you're getting route plotting failed because the distance between one or more of the stars is too great for your ship, you can press this one. So plot economical. So this will take a longer route, but it'll use shorter jumps between stars. So before you go and buy a bigger frameshift drive, assuming that you don't want to do that anyway, try this first. It might get you there quicker, it might not, but it's definitely an option. Because as you can see here, it's if I wanted to use this economical route, that would give me 75 jumps to Shinrata Desra. If I set it back to the standard setting, which is quickest route, it will make bigger jumps between stars, and it will mean that I've got 12 jumps to Shinrata Desra. So those options are there if you want to. Oh, don't do it, guy. Just let it go. It's 10:30 where I live. But he's doing it anyway. It is. Economical routes are not the quickest. In fact, they're by definition the very slowest. But if you needed to get to a destination and route plotting was failing, as a result of the distance between stars, and you didn't have enough credits to make the jump anyway, to buy a bigger French's drive, that might be an option for some commanders. It's not ideal, but it would definitely work. So quick question, what would be better in the long run, a Type 9 or the Anaconda? It doesn't really matter, to be fair. I'll be honest, through this whole stream, I've not had more than 3 missions spawn at once. So even if I had my cutter here, I wouldn't be able to fill it full of meta alloy missions. What I've been doing is I've been taking the meta alloy missions and then looking for other deliveries to the same station to top up the credits. So if I was doing this right now, this guy reminds me of Carl Pilkington. Yeah, that'd be funny, wouldn't it? There you go, look, another 39 million worth of meta alloys. I simply don't have the willpower not to take that. I would use a Python. I know I only came in my Python by pure chance, but that's what I would be doing it in at the moment, because you can't stack enough to make bringing your cutter worth it. Before anyone points out, yes, I know I could just filter to transport, but my fingers are pre-programmed to do it this way, and it's a habit that I can't break. You've possibly not seen it, but although of course Carl Pilkington was made famous on the TV programs that he did with Ricky Gervais, they also do podcasts which are so much funnier than the videos. It comes out with such shit on those. Me and Mrs. Shinakuma sit and listen to them, where they can keep you entertained for hours, the amount of nonsense they come out. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It did in fact used to be. How long is one run? It's the missions themselves are no longer than 1 jump. So this particular one that I picked up, let's take a look. So it's Agol's Ascent, which is 5 light years away. That's 1 jump. Frameshift drive was only rated to E, the lowest possible one. I could make it, and the station is 790 light seconds from the main star. That's what, 30 seconds in Super Cruise. And the trade rank, I believe when I picked it up, I only needed to be trade rank merchant. You do not, I repeat, do not need to be trade rank elite. What I'm doing now is looking for a top-up mission to take with me. Something about 3 or 4 million. Probably not going to get it, but it's worth looking. No, and then it's always worth checking these out. Although they are in Civil War, they do still occasionally, very occasionally, offer delivery missions in amongst the massacres. Not today, but they sometimes do. I just remembered the name of the Carl Pilkington show. The first ones are An Idiot Abroad. Again, they were funny, and then of course the how long this will usually last. So these missions are tied to the system state, so in order to get the best chance of these missions spawning, you need at least 50% of the local factions to be in boom status. How long boom status lasts? Have I joined EDC on Facebook? I have not. I don't know what that is, sorry. How long a boom status lasts is dependent on how many commanders show up and run the missions. Now look, I'm just getting the same boards over and over now. So, this is one thing that the console's mission boards seem to do that the PC mission boards don't, is they'll get to a certain point and they'll just lock in place and they will not shift at all, no matter what you do, for about 15 minutes. So at this point in time I can flip these boards 100,000 times and I'll only get the same missions over and over and over. So I've got 39 million in from the Meta Alloy, and I've got 1 million for the whatever the hell else it was. So this is a 40 million run. Now again, from last time we learned that the destination is obscured, so it is in fact quicker to jump to a different system rather than ascend in Super Cruise and then jump direct. It's easier to do a two-jumper. Once I've delivered this particular lot, I am going to call it an evening, because if I go back to Daniel's progress I will repeat the same cycle and I won't be able to prevent myself from looking for more missions. Yeah, the board refreshes every 15 minutes and there are about 8 different instances of missions. So between the various solos and that's a very poor way of describing it. Between the different instances of private, solo and open, there are about 8 different combinations of missions you can board flip through. And those reset about once every 15 minutes, or at least they do on Xbox and PlayStation 4. That pattern does seem to be slightly different for PC players, because like I say, on PC the boards seem to be a bit more favourable when flipping, but that's just the way the game is made. How can I get my Python to have a good jump range and trader? I have a range of drive, but I only get 13 light years. Okay, so my question would be, what else have you got on your Python? So if you want a good trader, ditch all of your weapons. You don't need them. Anything in utility mounts, again, shield boosters, get rid of them, don't need them. I keep one heatsink on there, just in case. For your sensors, get them derated, because they don't need to be anything better. You're a trader, you're not a combat pilot, so derate them. Again, live support, derated. You don't need anything flashy there. And thrusters, many people think that, you know, having the biggest, baddest thrusters on them is awesome. If you're trading, you don't need enormous thrusters. I think mine are derated, but they have grade 5 clean driving, because I like this ship to run clean. In case I need to sneak into stations, it keeps my heat nice and low in silent running, and of course that reduces various other things. And yet, like has been said in the chat, a Guardian frameshift drive booster. So it sounds like you've got a Python that's kitted out with the best of everything, when you don't need the best of everything. You need the lightest of everything, apart from frameshift drive. what I'll do is, as this is my last run, I'll cash in this mission, I'll go to outfitting, and I'll show you how I've got this set up. You can see if you find that useful or not. Functions, so let's say this Python has got 26.68 on a full load. When I'm fully loaded, when I'm empty, I'm 42.13. Without Guardian Tech. I haven't unlocked the Guardian FSD booster yet. I'm not sure how, depending on what you're watching it on in this. I was lucky enough that I did the Guardian missions when they first came out, and long before they nerfed the method, so I'm actually managed to pick up hundreds of Guardian blueprints from when it was broken and they were just giving them out for free. So I've got 25 module segments, 27 vessel blueprints, God knows what they're for, and 86 weapon blueprints. I looked out there, so I've got everything I need to do it, I just haven't been bothered to do it yet. Yeah. Yep, I probably should go back and get some of that stuff at some point. Might even invite you guys along to join me. Right, here we go. So there you go. So you can see there, that was another 40 million on top of the 120 odd that I'd done. That's 160 million, and the stream has now been running for an hour and 20 minutes. So that's not bad going, and it's achievable by all players. And now, as for my outfitting of this particular ship, I hate the way that black paint is only available for 1 week during the Black Friday sales. They know full well that everyone's favourite paint colour is black, which is why they only bloody sell it for 1 week a year, so they can milk the shit out of you for your cash. And the bastards are right, because it works too. Right, okay, so hard points, nothing. Utility mounts, 1 heatsink launcher. Core internals, so lightweight alloys. So I've got a 6D power plant, and the modification on that is armoured. So it gives me a bit more power and a bit more strength in case I get jumped. I've got 6A thrusters. Okay, I did say that I had D. I was wrong, but they are clean drive tuned. So I'm getting optimal mass of a slight reduction, so it's increasing my jump range. 5A frameshift drive with the usual grade 5 increased range with mass manager. Life support is unengineered. Power distributor is a 5A out of a possible 7, and that is an engine focused power distributor. Again, I don't need anything more than that. And my sensors are 6D, engineered for lightweight. In fact, do you know what we could do here? We could got these blueprints pinned. There you go. So I've just saved myself 75% on my sensors, so they're now much lighter. Engines, I've currently got clean drive tuning, but that's dirty drive, so I don't want dirty drive, I like clean, I like that one to be. Power plants, armoured power plants, and what have I got? One core dynamic components, so I'm going to leave that alone. I don't need to touch that. Okay, so that brings this particular stream to a close. As you saw, I made 160 million in an hour and 20 minutes. Better than Robigo, but not as reliable as Robigo. The spawning rate of the meta alloy missions are a bit hit and miss. So you may or may not be as successful for me, but 160 million for an hour and 20 minutes of easy work, it's certainly worth doing if you're looking to top up your credits. As I said, up in future there might, and I do repeat the word might, be a giveaway of a HOTAS 4 PlayStation 4 joystick, but that's a huge might depending on whether or not I can learn to live with it. And this weekend, this Sunday evening at approximately 8 o'clock in-game time, I will be running my usual giveaway of somewhere between 100 and 150 million credits to 3 lucky commanders throughout the course of the stream, and that will be done via pre-completed wing missions. So I will catch you all on Sunday. Please feel free to drop a like on this particular video if you haven't already. But until Sunday, I'll catch you all later, and have a good week.